Ethan, you're staying late again? Maya leaned on the cubicle wall, her tone half amusement, half concern. I didn't look up from the glowing screen. Someone has to make sure the proposal's ready before tomorrow, she sighed. You say that every night. You'll burn out. I'll rest when Daniel approves my design, I said, tapping the keyboard. It's my shot, Maya, a new voice cut in. Mind if I take a look? I turned. She stood there, Lena Ward, the new hire everyone in the office couldn't stop talking about. Confident, calm. Eyes that didn't just look at you, they studied you. Be my guest, I said, trying to sound casual. She stepped closer, scanning the screen. This layout, it's different. You're not following the company template. That's the point, I said. The template's outdated, she smiled faintly. I like rule breakers, Maya rolled her eyes. Don't encourage him. He already forgets to eat. I'll make sure he does, Lena said lightly, taking the seat beside me as if she'd always belonged there. That was the first time we worked together. 1 hour became 3. The office emptied. Only the hum of computers remained. You really believe in this project, she said quietly. I have to, I replied. It's the only thing that feels like mine. She studied me for a long moment. Then let's make it perfect, we did. Or at least I thought we did. Weeks passed. Late nights turned into habits. Coffee breaks into shared jokes. Somewhere between mock-ups and strategy meetings, I stopped thinking of Lena as just a coworker. Tell me something, she said one night, twirling her pen. Why are you still here? You could have gone freelance. I tried, I said. Didn't go well. I like structure. Daniel gave me a chance when no one else did. And now you want to prove him right? Something like that. She leaned closer. You're loyal. That's rare. Maybe I'm just stubborn, I said with a grin. Stubborn's fine, as long as it gets you where you want. Her words lingered longer than I expected. A few days later, Daniel called me into his office.
Ethan, I heard good things about your design.
Lena's been singing your praises, I smiled. She's been a great help. She's sharp, he said, leaning back. Reminds me of you when you started. Keep her close. I plan to, I said, not realizing how much that promise would cost. Over the next month, Lena and I became the team everyone noticed. Daniel started assigning us joint projects. When we presented together, she spoke first, confident and composed, and I filled in the gaps. It felt natural, like we were synced. One evening she said, "You ever think about starting something of your own?" Sometimes, I admitted. But I wouldn't even know where to begin, she smiled. You already have the ideas. You just need the right people beside you. And that would be you? I teased, she shrugged. Maybe. Something in her tone made my chest tighten. I didn't say it out loud, but I liked the thought. We began meeting outside the office. At cafes, bookstores, once at a rooftop bar where the city lights looked like promises waiting to be broken. I want to show you something, I said, pulling out my tablet. It's a personal project. Been working on it for years, she took it carefully. This is good. Like, game-changing good. Don't laugh, I said, half embarrassed. It's my dream startup. One day when I'm ready, she smiled. You trust me with this? I trust you with a lot, I said without hesitation. Her eyes softened. Then I'll make sure that trust isn't wasted. I believed her. Every word Maya noticed before I did. You're different, she said one morning. Different how? You smile more. You check your phone like you're waiting for someone. I chuckled. You're imagining things. She tilted her head. Just be careful, okay? Not everyone at this company wants what's best for you. I waved her off, pretending her words didn't sting. You worry too much. Maybe she didn't worry enough. That night, Lena called. You free tomorrow? For you? Always. I want to talk about your idea, she said. I think I found someone who can make it happen. My pulse quickened. Who? She paused. Daniel. But trust me, it's a good thing. I didn't know then that trust can be a weapon sharper than betrayal. All I knew was that I couldn't stop smiling when I heard her say, tomorrow could change everything, Ethan, and she was right. It did. You ever realize, Lena said, eyes fixed on the glowing monitor, we might actually pull this off? I leaned back in my chair, rubbing my temples. Pull what off? Survival, sanity? She laughed. No, something bigger. You and me, our project, our vision, it's more than just work, Ethan. Her words hit deeper than they should have. You make it sound like destiny. Maybe it is, she murmured, tapping the screen. You've built something incredible here. All it needs is the right push, I smiled. You say that like you're the push. She looked up, her grin sharp and soft all at once. Aren't I? I didn't answer. Maybe because I already believed her. Nights blurred into mornings. Empty coffee cups stacked around us like trophies of exhaustion. You ever sleep? I asked one night, watching her sketch ideas on the whiteboard. Sleep's overrated. You? Not since you started rewriting my schedule, she smirked. You love it. I tolerate it. Same thing, she said, spinning the marker in her hand. Now tell me about the prototype again. The one you showed me before Daniel's meeting. I hesitated. Why? I want to make sure I understand every detail before we pitch it. You said it yourself, details matter. Yeah, but the code, the design files, the investor deck, those are still rough. She waved her hand. I'm not asking for your secrets. Just the structure, the pitch flow, I chuckled. You already know half of it. Then let me learn the other half. I should have noticed the flicker of calculation in her voice, but back then, I only heard interest. Maya caught me in the break room the next morning. She's got you wrapped around her finger, she said. Sipping her coffee. Who? I asked, pretending not to know. Lena, don't play dumb. She's helping me, Maya. You should be thanking her. She's helping herself, Maya said flatly. That's what people like her do. You don't know her like I do. Maya gave me a long, steady look. And you don't know her at all. I laughed it off, but something about the way she said it stayed with me. That evening, Lena showed up at my desk. Daniel wants an updated version of your deck by Monday. Can you send me your files? My files? Yeah, just to clean up the visuals. You said you hate formatting slides. I hesitated. They're kind of personal. My own templates, old drafts. Ethan. She leaned closer. We're a team. You trust me, don't you? The way she said it left no room for doubt. Or maybe I didn't want there to be. Of course I do, I said quietly. Good. She smiled, brushing her hair back. Then send them tonight. By midnight, we were still working, her laptop open beside mine. Remember when we started this? She asked softly. You were terrified to even show me your notes. I was protecting my baby, I said, and now you're letting me hold it. I grinned. You earned it. Funny, she said. Most men don't say that to me. I'm not most men. She met my gaze. No, you're not. Her hand brushed mine, deliberate and brief. For a second, the room felt too small, too quiet. You should get some rest, I muttered. So should you, she whispered, but neither of us moved. The next few weeks were a blur of progress. Daniel approved the prototype demo. Investors started calling. For once, everything worked. You realize, I said one night, this could change everything. For both of us, Lena replied. Both? She smiled. You really think I'd do this without you? I chuckled. Honestly? You could. Her expression softened. Don't say that. I don't want to do anything without you. Something in her tone made my pulse quicken. Lena! Shh, she said, touching my hand. Don't ruin it with words. And I didn't, because silence with her always felt like connection. Maya cornered me again a few days later. She's been asking around, she said. About your files. Your passwords. What? She asked it if your drive was synced. Said it was for project access. Ethan, that's not normal. I frowned. You're overreacting. No, you're underreacting, she snapped. You think she cares about you. She cares about winning. She wants us both to win. She wants the credit, Maya said quietly, and Daniel's attention. I turned away. You're wrong, am I? Her question followed me long after she left. That night, Lena texted, Daniel loved the new version. We did it, I smiled, typing back, told you we would. A moment later, another message appeared. Can I come over? I want to celebrate properly. I stared at the screen, heart racing. She'd never been to my place. When she arrived, she walked in like she already owned the space. Wow, she said, scanning the sketches pinned on my wall. You really live this dream, don't you? It's all I've ever wanted. She turned, eyes glinting. Then let's make sure no one takes it from you. If only I'd known she already had. The boardroom smelled like polished wood and ambition. I'd spent 3 nights rehearsing this pitch, but as soon as I walked in, something felt wrong. Lena sat beside Daniel at the head of the table, a place I'd never seen her sit before. "Ethan," Daniel said with a tight smile. "Glad you could join us." "Of course," I replied, forcing a grin. "I've been waiting for this day." Lena's eyes met mine for a second, then shifted away. No warmth, no smile, just silence. Daniel cleared his throat. "Before we begin, I'd like to announce a change in today's presentation. We'll be hearing from Lena Ward, who will introduce a new project proposal that's captured my attention." My chest tightened. "Wait, what project?" Lena stood, her voice calm, confident. "The Adaptive Logistics Model for Client Integration, that was my title. My project, my code." I blinked, thinking maybe I'd misheard. But then I saw my slides flash onto the screen, every color, every word, every line of data I'd written over months of sleepless nights. I could barely breathe. "Daniel, that's my—" He raised a hand. "Let her finish," Lena continued, flawless and polished. "This concept was built on collaboration and vision. Together, we've designed something that could redefine efficiency. Together." The word hit me like a knife. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Daniel stood, shaking her hand. "Brilliant work, Lena. You've outdone yourself." Outdone herself. I felt my stomach drop. I tried to speak, but the words wouldn't come. My throat burned. When the meeting ended, people surrounded her. Praise, laughter, congratulations. No one looked at me. I was invisible. I finally managed to whisper, "Lena, can we talk?" She turned, her smile picture perfect. "Of course, Ethan." I waited until the last person left. "What the hell was that?" She tilted her head. "What do you mean?" "My idea, my presentation." "You stole it." Her tone didn't even waver. "You said we were a team, didn't you?" "That doesn't mean this." "You took everything. I refined it," she said coolly. "You know how corporate politics work." "Daniel, trust me. I'm the face he wants. You're the mind behind it." "That's still something," I laughed bitterly. "Something?" "You took my dream and called it teamwork." She stepped closer, lowering her voice. "Ethan, calm down. Don't ruin this for both of us." "Both of us?" I repeated, shaking. "You already ruined me." Her eyes hardened. "You're being dramatic. I gave you credit internally?" "Internally?" I snapped. "You erased my name from every file, every slide, because it looked cleaner." She interrupted. "Daniel likes simplicity." I took a step back, trying to control the rage clawing up my throat. "You planned this. From the start." She didn't deny it. "Why?" I asked, almost whispering. "You had talent. You didn't need to do this." She sighed, crossing her arms. "You think talent is enough?" "You're too naive. People don't win by being honest, Ethan. They win by being smart. And stealing? If that's what it takes." I stared at her, the woman I thought I loved, and realized I never really knew her at all. "Was any of it real?" I asked. "The nights, the plans, the promises?" She looked at me for a moment, then smiled. "It was real until it wasn't." My chest felt hollow. "You're unbelievable." "I'm practical," she said softly. "You'll thank me one day." An hour later, Daniel called me into his office. "Ethan," he said, gesturing to a chair. "This isn't easy, but we've had some complaints about your behavior. Lena mentioned you've been unstable." I froze. "Unstable?" "She said you've been possessive over the project, aggressive." "That's not true," he sighed. "Look, I value your work, but we can't have internal conflict. Take some time off, indefinitely." "Indefinitely?" I repeated. "You're firing me." "Let's call it a separation." "Because she said so?" Daniel's expression hardened. "Because I trust her judgment." I laughed in disbelief. "She's playing you, Daniel." Everything she presented came from my laptop. My notes. "Then you should have protected them better," he said coldly. "You're dismissed, Ethan." I stood there silent. For a moment I thought I might break something. Instead I walked out, slow, numb, broken. The sky opened up as I stepped outside. Rain poured over the glass walls of Gray and Holt, blurring the city lights into streaks of silver and blue. I stood there, soaked, watching as Lena walked out a few minutes later with Daniel beside her. She was laughing, my betrayal wrapped in designer confidence. Maya rushed over from across the street, umbrella in hand. "Ethan, what happened?" "She took everything," I said quietly. Her eyes widened. No. She used my idea, my work, my trust. Daniel believed her. Maya bit her lip, anger flashing in her eyes. We'll fix this. I'll talk to HR. It's too late, I muttered. My name's gone from the files. From the company? From everything, she hesitated. What are you going to do? I looked at the building one last time, every light in those windows burning like judgment. I don't know, I said. Maybe start over. Or maybe let karma handle her. Do you still love her? Maya asked softly. I wanted to say no. I wanted to say I hated her. But all I managed was, I don't know what I feel anymore. The rain kept falling, heavy and relentless, washing away the last trace of the man I used to be. Somewhere inside that building, Lena was celebrating, and outside I stood in the rain, forgotten, erased, and reborn in heartbreak. That night, the dream I built died in her hands, and so did I. The walls of my apartment felt closer every night. The air smelled like stale coffee and failure. I hadn't spoken to anyone in days, maybe weeks. I didn't bother checking. I stared at my laptop screen, blank, waiting for an idea, a reason, anything to make me move. But all I saw was that boardroom again. Daniel's applause, Lena's smile, the silence that followed my downfall. Every sound outside, the hum of traffic, a neighbor's laughter, felt like an insult. I'd gone from being a rising star to a man who couldn't even afford groceries without counting coins. The phone buzzed. I let it ring, then stopped when I saw the name. Maya. I ignored the first 3 calls. On the 4th, I answered. Ethan, her voice came through, soft but steady. You can't keep doing this. I'm fine, I said automatically. No, you're not. I can hear it. I said I'm fine, she sighed. You're sitting alone again, aren't you? Lights off, blinds closed, blaming yourself. Maybe I deserve it. You don't, she said firmly. You trusted the wrong person. That doesn't make you weak. It makes me stupid. Then we've all been stupid, she said quietly. You lost your job, not your talent. I leaned back, staring at the ceiling. Talent didn't save me. Trust killed me. Then stop letting her live rent-free in your head. I can't. You have to, she said. Move forward. Start something new. With what? I asked bitterly. Dreams don't pay rent. Neither does self-pity, she shot back. Ethan, you're still the man who built that project. They just stole the credit. Her words should have lifted me, but instead they cut deeper. After she hung up, I sat in silence, listening to the faint hum of the fridge and the rain outside. I used to love rain. Now it reminded me of that night, standing under the downpour, watching everything I built wash away. I opened the drawer and pulled out a small photo frame. Lena and I smiling at a company party. She was wearing that red dress she said made her feel powerful. I was wearing the same suit I lost everything in. I ran my thumb over her face. You knew exactly what you were doing, didn't you? I whispered. The lighter clicked in my hand. For a moment, I hesitated. The flame flickered, small and uncertain, like me. Then I touched it to the corner of the photo. The paper curled, edges turning black. Her smile melted into smoke. Mine followed. I watched until nothing was left but ashes. The air filled with the smell of burnt memories. It didn't make me feel better, just emptier. There was a knock on the door. I almost didn't answer, but the knocking persisted. When I opened it, a tall man stood there, hair messy, wearing a jacket that had seen better days. Liam? I asked, startled. He grinned faintly. Long time no see, brother. I hadn't seen Liam since college. He'd always been wild, reckless, loud, impossible to ignore. What are you doing here? I asked. Maya called me, he said, stepping inside. Said you were turning into a ghost? Figures, I muttered. I told her not to. She cares, man, he said, glancing around. This place looks like a crime scene for broken dreams. Fitting, I said dryly. He sat on the arm of my couch. So what's the plan? There isn't one. Liar, he said, smirking. You're not the type to just quit. You're too stubborn for that. I'm tired, Liam. Good. That means you're ready. For what? To stop being the victim, he said. You want payback, don't you? I didn't answer, but he saw it in my eyes. That's what I thought, he said, leaning forward. Then get off this couch. You've got skills, ideas. We start fresh. No corporations. No politics. Just us, I laughed, bitter. You make it sound easy. It's not, he admitted. But it's better than wasting away here, waiting for ghosts to apologize. I stared at the burned photo still smoldering in the ashtray. What if I fail again? Then fail loudly, he said with a grin. But fail your way this time, I let out a slow breath.
You really think I can come back from this?
He shrugged. I don't think it, I know it. You just have to remember who you were before her. His words hit something inside me, a faint spark buried under months of ashes. Maybe he was right. Maybe I'd been mourning too long. I looked at him and said quietly, All right, let's build something. Liam smiled. That's the Ethan I remember. As he left, I turned off the lights and looked at the smoke rising from the photo's remains. For the first time in months, I didn't feel powerless. I didn't feel healed either. But I felt something close, like the start of a storm, gathering quietly inside me. Maybe this time, I'd be the one bringing the rain. 6 months. That's how long it took for the silence to stop feeling like punishment and start feeling like peace. Liam tossed a set of keys onto my desk. Congratulations, boss. Your empire now has an office the size of a closet. I looked around the tiny room, peeling paint, flickering bulb, a secondhand desk that leaned to one side. It's perfect, he laughed. You've officially lost it. I've lost worse, I said. This is a start. Maya appeared at the doorway holding 2 coffees. If we're calling this an office, then I'm calling myself employee number 1. I smiled faintly. Welcome to Coal Innovations. Population 3 broke dreamers. She handed me a cup. Hey, every empire starts with bad coffee. Yeah, Liam said, sipping his. And collapses with worse decisions. Let's avoid that part. I leaned back in my chair. No promises. For weeks, the 3 of us lived inside that space. Designing, coding, pitching, failing, trying again. I slept on the couch most nights. The hum of my laptop became my heartbeat. Every time exhaustion hit, I saw her face again. Lena smiling in that boardroom like she hadn't destroyed me. That memory kept me going longer than caffeine ever could. One night around 3 a.m., Liam looked up from his screen. You ever think about her? Every day, I said. And? I don't want her back, I said. I just want her gone, Maya nodded. She will be. People like her always trip on their own lies. I didn't answer. But part of me wanted to believe it. 3 months later, the first investor called. A woman named Caroline Wu sat across from me in a downtown cafe reviewing our prototype. This, she said, is what Gray and Holt tried to copy, isn't it? I met her eyes. They tried. They failed, she smiled. I like your confidence. It's not confidence, I said. It's proof, she leaned back, intrigued. Tell me, Ethan, what makes your version different? It works, I said simply. Because I built it for people, not profit. She nodded slowly. You'll have your funding. When she left, Liam slapped my shoulder. We did it. Maya grinned. Finally, but I didn't celebrate. I just stared out the window at the city lights. I'd imagined this moment before, how I'd feel when success started knocking again. I thought I'd feel joy. Instead, I felt calm. It wasn't revenge. It was balance. A few weeks later, Liam burst into the office waving a newspaper. You're gonna want to see this. I took it from him. The headline read, Gray and Holt faces product recall after system failure. Maya gasped. That's their version, isn't it? Yeah, Liam said. The one Lena presented. I skimmed the article. Investors pull funding. Daniel Holt silent. Internal sources claim mismanagement and stolen intellectual property. I set the paper down slowly. She's crashing, Liam said. She's earning it, I replied. Maya looked at me carefully. Does it feel good? I thought for a moment. It feels right. That night, I stayed late again. Everyone else had gone home. The office was quiet except for the hum of the servers. I looked around at what we'd built. Our code running smoothly, our servers stable, our name starting to spread. Every inch of progress had been carved from my own ruin. I opened my inbox, 10 new partnership requests, and one unread message that made my hand freeze, from Lena Ward. Subject, can we talk? I stared at it for a long time. No part of me wanted to reply. Instead, I hit delete. Liam walked in a few minutes later, grabbing his jacket. You still here? Yeah, I said quietly. You should sleep. I will. Eventually. He nodded toward the empty coffee cup beside me. You're running on fumes, man. I'm running on purpose, I said. He smirked. That's new. After he left, I opened a blank document. At the top, I typed, Phase 2, Expansion. This time, I wasn't building to prove anything to her, or to Daniel, or to anyone else. I was building because I remembered who I was before they tried to rewrite me. A week later, Maya walked in with her phone in hand. Ethan, you need to see this. She showed me a video. Reporters crowding outside Gray and Holt's headquarters. Cameras flashing. Questions flying. Lena pushing past them, face pale, voice tight. Miss Ward, are the plagiarism rumors true? One shouted. She didn't answer. I felt something shift inside me. A quiet satisfaction. Not triumph, not revenge. Just peace. Maya watched me carefully. Say it, she whispered. Say it feels good, I smiled faintly. It feels deserved, she laughed softly. You're different now. I had to be, I said. The man she betrayed wouldn't have survived this version of me. Liam walked in just then, holding 3 coffees. All right, future billionaires, enough soul-searching. Time to work. I took 1 cup, my reflection rippling in the dark surface. Let's make history, I said. Maya raised her cup. To rebirth, Liam smirked. To payback. I lifted mine slowly. To peace. We drank in silence. Outside, the city lights flickered, reflecting off our tiny office window. For the first time, I wasn't chasing anyone or proving anything. I'd already won, quietly, completely, and without ever needing to look back. 2 years. That's how long it took to erase their names from the industry and replace them with mine. Smile, Ethan, Maya whispered as cameras flashed. You're the keynote speaker. Try not to look like you hate attention. I don't hate it, I said. I just don't need it, she grinned. Tell that to the 20 reporters waiting to hear your story. I adjusted my tie and stepped onto the stage. The spotlight hit, the crowd murmured, and for a second I saw the reflection of who I used to be, the man who once begged for a seat at someone else's table. Now the table had my name carved into it. Good evening, I began. 2 years ago, Cole Innovations was an idea in a rented office with 1 broken chair. Today, it's proof that integrity still builds empires. Applause filled the hall. But as I scanned the audience, my chest tightened. Daniel Holt sat in the back row, face pale, smile strained. Beside him, Lena. Her hair was darker now, her posture smaller. She looked like a painting left too long in the sun. I kept my voice steady. We built something honest, something real. Her gaze met mine for a brief, fragile second. Then she looked away. After the event, I found Liam by the buffet, piling shrimp on a plate. You killed that speech, he said. Press is going to eat it up, I nodded. They're not the only ones here to eat. He followed my line of sight. Oh, he muttered. Well, look who decided to crawl out of bankruptcy. Daniel was talking to a group of investors, his laugh too forced, his handshake too long. Lena stood beside him, expression distant. Maya joined us. You going to say hi? No need, I said. They'll come to me, she smirked. Still strategic, still me, and I was right. 10 minutes later, Daniel approached. Ethan, he said, stretching out his hand. Man, it's been a long time. I turned slowly, masking the sting of old memories with a polite smile. Daniel Holt, I said. Didn't expect to see you here. He chuckled nervously. Oh, you know, still fighting the good fight. Fighting, I repeated. That sounds accurate. Lena lingered behind him, silent. When our eyes met, her lips parted slightly. Ethan, she whispered. I smiled faintly. Lena, she stepped forward. It's been a while? 2 years, I said. Give or take. Daniel cleared his throat. We've been following your progress. Impressive stuff, really. Appreciate that, I said. I've been busy, I bet, he said. Actually, we're in the middle of restructuring. I was hoping we could talk, maybe explore a potential collaboration. I tilted my head. Collaboration? He nodded eagerly. Gray and Holt still has reach, reputation. Reputation? I cut in gently. That's an interesting word to use. His smile faltered. Lena placed a hand on his arm. Daniel, she murmured, maybe this isn't the time. No, it's fine, I said softly. It's poetic, really. You once erased my name from a project. Now you're asking me to help save yours. Her face fell. Ethan, that wasn't... Don't, I interrupted. Not tonight, she swallowed. I just wanted you to know I'm sorry. Sorry doesn't rebuild what you broke, I said quietly. But it's something. Daniel looked between us, frowning.
You two know each other?
I met his eyes. We used to. Liam appeared then, sensing tension. Everything all right here? Perfect, I said, finishing my drink. Mr. Holt was just leaving. Daniel's jaw tightened. You'll regret this, he muttered. I already did, I said. 2 years ago. He turned away, pulling Lena with him. But she hesitated. Ethan, she said softly, you've changed. I had to, I replied. You made sure of that, her voice trembled. You look happy. I look finished, I said. She blinked as if the words stung. You really don't feel anything anymore, do you? I exhaled. I feel everything. I just don't owe it to you. She nodded slowly, eyes glistening. I deserved that. When she walked away, something inside me twisted. Part relief, part sadness. I wasn't sure which part hurt more. Later, Maya found me on the balcony overlooking the city. So, she said, leaning on the railing, how'd it feel seeing them again? Like déjà vu, I said. Only this time I didn't flinch. Good, she said. Because you won. Winning doesn't feel how I thought it would, I murmured. She studied me. You expected fireworks? I expected peace, I said. But all I feel is empty space where anger used to be, she smiled faintly. That's peace, Ethan. You're just not used to it yet. I looked down at the city lights, a reflection of everything I'd fought to build. Maybe. Liam joined us, holding 3 glasses of champagne. To survival, he said. To silence, Maya added. I raised mine. To success that speaks louder than revenge. We clinked glasses. As the night went on, guests kept congratulating me, calling me a visionary, a pioneer, a symbol of resilience. None of them knew the truth, that I'd built my empire out of ashes and sleepless nights, out of betrayal and bitterness turned into drive. And as the music swelled inside, I caught a glimpse of Lena through the glass doors. She stood alone near the exit, watching me. For a moment, our eyes met again. No words, no blame. Just history, quiet, heavy, and finally at rest. Maya nudged me. You could go talk to her, you know. I already did, I said. In every success, every headline, every silence, she smiled. You're impossible. I'm done, I corrected. When the night ended, I walked out into the cool air. Cameras flashed, people called my name, but I barely heard them, because in that moment, I understood something. Revenge wasn't about hurting them. It was about outgrowing them, and I had completely. It was a quiet afternoon when my assistant's voice came through the intercom. Sir, there's someone here to see you. She says it's urgent. I didn't look up from the contract I was reviewing. Name? A pause. Lena Ward. The pen slipped from my hand. For a few seconds, the only sound was the soft hum of the AC. I leaned back slowly, staring at the ceiling. Of course, she'd come eventually. Send her in, I said. The door opened. She stepped in like someone crossing enemy lines, careful, hesitant, fragile. Her once perfect posture was gone. The confidence she wore like armor had cracked. Ethan, she breathed. You look different, I studied her quietly. So do you, she tried to smile but failed. I wasn't sure you'd see me. I wasn't sure I would either. Her eyes darted around the room, photos on the wall, awards, my company logo behind the desk. You did it, she whispered. Everything you talked about. You actually built it. I did, I said simply. She took a step closer. I've watched your interviews. The product launch, the Forbes feature. You're incredible. Flattery doesn't work here anymore, I said evenly. Her throat tightened. I'm not here for that. Then what are you here for? She swallowed. To say I'm sorry. The words hung in the air, trembling between us. I wanted them to land, to matter, but they didn't. Sorry? I repeated. For stealing from me? Or for pretending to love me while you did it? Her voice cracked. For all of it. For being so blind, so selfish. I thought success would make me whole. And did it? I asked. She shook her head, tears spilling. It destroyed me. Daniel's gone. The company's gone. I lost everything, Ethan. I folded my hands, calm. Then I guess we're even. No, she said, stepping closer. You don't understand. I didn't just lose things, I lost you. I met her eyes. You never had me. You just borrowed what you needed and walked away. She flinched. I didn't mean to hurt you. Yes, you did, I said quietly. You just didn't think I'd matter enough to regret it. Silence stretched. The kind that used to make me fill the air with forgiveness. Not this time. She exhaled shakily. I can't sleep.
I keep seeing that day.
Your face when Daniel took credit. I thought I was doing the smart thing. Smart, I repeated. That's what betrayal sounds like when it's trying to sound noble. Her hands trembled. I deserve that. I deserve worse. But please, Ethan, just talk to me. Yell at me, hate me, anything. I can't take this silence. I leaned back in my chair. Silence is mercy, Lena. You should thank me for it. She wiped her face. You've changed so much. I had to, I said. You left me no choice. Her voice broke. I didn't think you'd forgive me, but I hoped you'd at least remember what we were. I remember, I said. Every late night, every promise, every lie. I remember enough to never repeat it. Her knees weakened. Please, she whispered, just give me a chance to make it right. To do what? I asked. Rebuild what you burned? I can help, she said desperately. I know things, contacts, investors. I cut her off with a quiet laugh. You think I need you for that? Look around, Lena. I built this without you. Her tears came faster now. Then let me stay beside you. Even if it's not the same, I just want to be near you again. I stood slowly, walked to the window. The city stretched out below us, mine now in every way that once felt impossible. I used to dream of this, I said. You walking back into my life, realizing what you threw away. She looked up, hopeful. Then maybe, but dreams change, I interrupted. Now I just want peace. Her breath caught. So that's it? You're just done? I was done the moment you sold my trust for applause. She stared at me, face pale.
You really don't feel anything for me anymore?
I turned. I feel pity. Not love, not hate, just pity. She covered her face, sobbing softly. I don't deserve forgiveness. You don't, I said. But you deserve closure. So here it is, you're forgiven. Not because you earned it, but because I'm tired of carrying it. Her hands fell to her sides. You mean that? I do, I said. You don't owe me anything. And I don't owe you my heart anymore. The door opened quietly. Maya stood there, her expression unreadable. She'd heard enough. Everything okay, sir? She asked gently. Yes, I said. Ms. Ward was just leaving. Lena's lips trembled. Maya, she whispered. You always saw through me, didn't you? Maya met her gaze. I saw what you did to him, she said softly. And I see what it's done to you. Lena nodded weakly. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Lena. She turned and walked out. The sound of the door closing echoed like an ending I'd waited years to hear. Maya lingered. You okay? I am, I said, surprising myself. For the first time, I really am. She smiled faintly. You didn't even raise your voice. I didn't need to, I said. She heard everything I didn't say. Maya nodded. Peace looks good on you. I looked out the window again, the skyline glowing gold in the late light. It feels better than revenge, I murmured, and for once, I meant it. She came back the next morning. I wasn't surprised. Lena never knew when to stop. The receptionist called me, whispering, Sir, she's here again. Let her in, I said quietly. When the door opened, Lena looked worse than before. Eyes swollen, clothes wrinkled, voice trembling. I didn't sleep, she said. I couldn't. I didn't ask you to, I replied. She took a shaky breath. Please, Ethan, just hear me out. I can't live knowing I broke the only person who ever truly loved me. I leaned against the desk. You didn't break me, Lena. You just taught me who I was without you. Her eyes filled with tears. Then at least let me fix something. I'll give up everything, the shares, the apartment, the car. I'll start over if that's what it takes. I almost laughed. You think this is about money? She shook her head, desperate. No, it's about us. What we had, what we could still have. There is no us, I said calmly. There's just what you did and what I became after. Her voice cracked. I was scared, Ethan. I thought if I didn't take that chance, I'd lose everything. You did lose everything, I said. But not because of me. Because you traded love for ambition and forgot that people aren't stepping stones. She stepped closer. I was wrong. I see that now. I'll spend the rest of my life proving it to you if I have to. I looked her in the eye. That's the thing, you don't have to. She froze. What does that mean? It means I already forgave you, I said softly. A long time ago. Her face softened with hope. Then, can we start over? I shook my head. No. Forgiveness doesn't mean going back. It means I don't hate you anymore. It means I don't care. Her lips trembled. You can't just stop caring. Not after everything. I can, I said, because I finally learned that peace is louder than revenge and quieter than love. She covered her mouth as tears fell. You don't mean that. I do, I said. You taught me how it feels to lose everything. Now I know how it feels to have it all again, without needing you in it. Her voice fell to a whisper. So this is really goodbye? It always was, I said. You just didn't realize it. She stepped back, shaking her head. No, I can change. I'll do anything. Lena, I interrupted. The moment you begged for forgiveness, you proved you're still chasing something that isn't real. I'm not your redemption. You'll have to find that somewhere else. Her knees buckled slightly as she sank into the chair.
You sound just like I used to when I lied to you. Maybe, I said.
Or maybe I finally learned how to tell the truth. She buried her face in her hands. I ruined the best thing in my life. Yeah, I said quietly. And I rebuilt mine without you. For a moment, neither of us spoke. The silence was thick, heavy, final. She looked up at me one last time. If I walk out that door, will you ever think of me again? I smiled faintly. Only when I remember how far I've come. Her shoulders slumped. You've changed. I had to, I said. The old me would have forgiven you and begged you to stay. The new me understands that walking away is also a kind of love. She nodded slowly. I don't deserve that kind of grace. You don't, I said. But I'm giving it anyway. Her tears fell freely now. You're cruel in such a gentle way. I'm honest, I said. That's all I ever wanted from you. She stood shakily, wiping her face. So this is how it ends? With silence? I looked at her, the woman who once held my world in her hands. It ends the same way it began, I said. With me believing in something that never existed. Her voice broke. Goodbye, Ethan. Goodbye, Lena. She turned and walked to the door. Her heels echoed against the floor, each step quieter than the last. When the door clicked shut, I let out a slow breath I didn't know I'd been holding. Maya appeared a few moments later, holding a folder. Is she gone? She is. She looked empty. She's just seeing what I felt years ago, I said. Maya hesitated. Do you regret not giving her another chance? I shook my head. No, you can't build peace on broken trust. She nodded gently. Then you're finally free. I think so, I said. Feels strange, doesn't it? Letting go. Strange but right, I smiled faintly. Yeah, right. When she left, I pulled out my phone. Lena's number sat there at the top of my contacts, like a ghost refusing to leave. I stared at it for a long time before pressing delete. The screen went blank. No name, no history, no trace. I grabbed my keys and stepped outside. The morning light was soft, golden, alive. For the first time in years, the air didn't feel heavy. As I got into my car, I whispered to myself, freedom. And this time, I didn't look back. The city stretched beneath me, golden under the morning sun. The same skyline that once mocked me now looked like proof that I'd made it through. Maya stepped onto the balcony, holding 2 cups of coffee. You're up early again, she said. Habit, I replied, taking one from her. Can't shake the mornings that built this? She smiled faintly. You built more than just mornings, Ethan. You built an empire. I looked down at the streets, alive, restless, familiar. Funny how quiet victory feels. Quiet? She asked. After everything you went through? Yeah, I said. I thought it would roar. Turns out peace doesn't make noise. She leaned on the railing beside me. Daniel's company filed for bankruptcy last week. Did you hear? I did, I said. Didn't even feel anything when I read it. You expected satisfaction? I used to, I admitted. I thought watching him fall would make me feel complete. But it just reminded me how heavy grudges are when you finally put them down. Maya nodded. And Lena? I let out a breath. Her name hasn't been in the news for months. Guess she learned silence too. She reached out once, Maya said softly. I didn't tell you, I turned to her. Why? She just wanted to know if you were happy. And what did you say? I told her you were, Maya said. I smiled faintly. You didn't lie. She watched me quietly for a moment. You really forgave her, didn't you? I had to, I said. Not for her, just to stop dragging the past into every tomorrow. Maya looked at me with something between admiration and sadness. You've changed. So have you, I said. You stayed when it was easier to walk away, she shrugged. Someone had to remind you that peace isn't found in payback. I didn't listen, I said. You did eventually, she replied. That's what matters. We stood in silence. The wind carried faint sounds of the city, horns, footsteps, life moving forward. She broke the quiet.
Do you ever miss it?
The chase, the fight, the fire? Sometimes, I admitted. But then I remember what it cost me. Nights without sleep, days without meaning, love that turned to ashes. Maya smiled softly. And now? Now, I said, I finally feel enough. She took a sip of coffee. You sound like a man who's found peace. Maybe, I said. Or maybe I just ran out of reasons to be angry. She laughed lightly. That's a good place to stop running. I looked at her, steady eyes, quiet warmth. What about you, Maya? You ever think about what's next? Sometimes, she said. But for once, I'm not planning ahead. Feels good just being here, I nodded. Yeah, here's good. We didn't need more words. The silence between us said everything. Below us, people hurried to work, unaware that somewhere above them, two people were learning how to breathe again. I used to dream of this, I murmured. Not the success, the stillness. And now that you have it? She asked. I'm terrified I'll lose it, I said honestly. She smiled. Then maybe that's how you know it's real. I looked at her and smiled back. You always know what to say. Only because you finally listen, she teased. I laughed quietly, feeling lighter than I had in years. The sun climbed higher, painting glass towers in gold. For the first time, I didn't see competition in their reflection. I saw peace looking back at me. Maya glanced toward the horizon. So what now, Ethan? I finished my coffee and set the cup down. Now? I just live, she nodded. That sounds like the best revenge there is. Not revenge, I said softly. Redemption. The wind carried her quiet smile as I turned back to the skyline. For years, I'd fought to win against everyone else. Today, I realized I'd finally won against the only person who mattered, myself. And for once, that victory didn't need applause. It was enough that it was mine. The night was quiet, the kind of quiet that makes you think the world finally stopped spinning. I sat by my window, city lights blinking faintly in the distance when I saw it. An envelope slipped under my door. No name. No sound. Just silence. I picked it up and froze at the handwriting. I'd know it anywhere. Lena. My pulse didn't rise. My chest didn't tighten. I just stood there staring at the past dressed in white paper. I opened it slowly. Inside, one line. I hope one day you'll understand why I did it. I read it again, then again, waiting for the pain that never came. Maya's voice broke the silence. You're still awake? Yeah, I said quietly, holding up the letter. Looks like ghosts can write. She frowned. Lena? I nodded. Do you want me to leave you alone? No, I said. Stay. She walked over, sat beside me on the couch. What did she say? I handed her the paper. She read it, then looked at me. That's it? That's it. Maya shook her head. She still doesn't get it. Maybe she does, I said softly. Maybe that's the point. She studied my face. You're not angry. I was once, I said. Anger kept me alive, but now it just feels unnecessary. Maya leaned back. So what will you do with it? I turned the letter in my hand, feeling the rough paper against my fingers. I think I'll let it go. Literally or metaphorically? She asked with a small smile. Both, I said, standing up. I walked to the balcony, opened the sliding door, and stepped into the cool night air. The city below buzzed faintly. Cars, distant laughter, fragments of life. I took a lighter from my pocket. Maya followed me quietly. You're sure? Yeah, I said. This story's done. The flame flickered to life. I held the edge of the letter to it and watched as it caught fire, curling inward, blackening. The handwriting disappeared first, then the paper turned to ash. Maya watched in silence. It's strange, she said, how something that once meant everything can turn to nothing in seconds. It's not nothing, I said. It's just finished. The ashes scattered in the wind carried off into the night. I felt lighter, though I couldn't explain why. Maya placed a hand on my arm. Do you think she meant it? That you'd understand one day? Maybe, I said. But I don't need to, she nodded slowly. Closure doesn't always need answers. Exactly. I looked up at the stars, faintly visible through the haze. Some stories don't end with forgiveness or revenge. They just fade, Maya smiled faintly. You always were better with endings than beginnings, I laughed softly. It took me a while to learn. We stood there for a long moment. The air felt clearer. My thoughts quieter. You ever think about what's next? She asked. Not really, I said. For once, I don't need to chase anything. I'm fine where I am. That sounds like peace. It feels like it, I said. Strange, though. I spent so long fighting to get even. Now I just want quiet. Quiet's underrated, she said. Yeah, I murmured. It's the sound of healing, she looked at me. You think you'll ever see her again? No, I said. And I think that's the kindest ending we'll ever have. Maya nodded. Then let's not talk about her anymore. Deal. We went back inside. The smell of smoke lingered faintly in the room. I didn't mind. It smelled like closure. Maya turned off the lights and sat beside me on the couch again. You did it, Ethan. You really made it through. I did, I said quietly. And it didn't end how I expected. How does it feel? Bittersweet, I said. But right, she smiled. That's enough. I leaned back, staring at the faint glow of the city through the window. The world kept moving, louder, brighter, but inside me, there was finally silence. The kind of silence that doesn't hurt. The kind that means you've let go. I closed my eyes. The last image of that burning letter still lingering in my mind, not as loss, but as release. Some people wait for apologies, some for revenge. I just waited for peace. And tonight, I finally had it.